Hello, my name is Satria. My matrix number is 218358, and I'm the representative of Team 10. And for now, I'm going to show you how I assemble the Waterotor for our project. So the first step to assemble our Waterotor is by importing the parts to our product. It can be done by clicking this icon over here, just one simple click, and choose the product. In this case, I'm using product number 4, but I'll change it later into our main build's name. Okay, so basically in our builds there are 7 different main parts, and to begin with we can start with the housing, which is the main which is acted as a main base of the whole build. And the housing itself is consist of 3 different parts, which is housing, left, right, and the connector. We can start by doing housing left. I break it down because it's going to be a lot easier and more realistic to build. So for the following step is just going to be like building Lego step by step. Okay, since we have our housing left housing here, we can start by building or connecting the ramp. It's the same steps. Just choose this icon, pick the product, and choose the RAM. Okay, now the RAM is here, but the problem is it's rotated in different way. So it's facing the different way as the housing left housing faces. Okay, to outcome the problem, we can choose a tool here called as manipulation, and we can rotate, choose the z-axis rotate uh, to the RAM. So the RAM will be rotated along the z-axis. Okay, just rotate it like this. We don't have to be really accurate actually. Okay, after it's rotated, we can just move it along the y-axis, give it some space, the x-axis, to line. Okay, so as you can see, it's not perfectly aligned. And to make it perfectly aligned, we can use another tool called as coincidence. So basically it will center out all of the circles over here. So okay, first I'll explain you the basic concept of our assembly. So to assemble all of the parts, uh, we're using something like a gunpla. So it's only a matter of connecting the male and female parts. Of course, it's not what they use in real world scenario, but our team decided to use it since it was easier and simpler. Okay. Uh, okay, so we have our coincidence tool right here. You can just click it. Okay, as you can see, there is like 3 male part here. 3 male and 3 female. We can choose the very top one for the male and the very top one of the female. If we update it, yeah, it's going to be perfectly aligned. Okay. Uh, Actually, we don't have to connect uh, the remaining male and female since it's going to be perfectly aligned anyway. But for these parts, I'm going to uh, coincide it with the coincidence tools. Yeah, there's like redundant because it's perfectly aligned. Okay, since it's aligned already, we can move on to the next step, which is connecting the parts. We can choose it by we can do it by choosing the contact tools right over here. Have it over there. Uh, we can yeah, we can done it by choosing this face, and we can connect it by this face. Since the length of the male and the depth of the female is the same, so when this face touches the other face, it will be connected like perfectly. To do that, we can just update. We can choose it by we can choose it from here through the edit toolbar, update, or we can do it right here, or we can just press Ctrl U, which I'm going to do it right now. Okay, Ctrl U, everything is updated and it's connected. Okay, one part's done. Let's move on into the next part, which is I'm going to connect the bracket. Okay, just the bracket. Same as before, choose this icon, choose the product, and choose the parts, the bracket. Okay, the problem is, it's the same problem like before, it's not aligned. So we have to do the manipulation again. Along the z-axis, move it along the y, along the x. Yeah, okay, we're done. And you can just coincide it from here. Okay, so why am I choosing the middle part of it instead of uh, all of the three all of the three male and female connectors? It's because uh, all of the connectors here in the housing and in the bracket is calculated already. So since the middle is when the middle part is perfectly aligned, all of the three male and female part will be also perfectly aligned. So we don't have to do it. Okay, okay, let me show you. Update. Okay, it's perfectly aligned, and we can connect it by using the contact tools again. Choose it right here, choose this part, and see, when it shows something like this, a square one means connecting tools, and the circular one means the coincidence tool. Yeah, since we have that, it's good already, and we can just update it. Okay, when it turns green, it's already good. Okay, now we have two parts connected into the main housing. And for now, let's move on into the next part. Okay, you can choose it from here, product, and for the next part, I'm going to choose bushing. Okay, so the bushing is not aligned and facing the different direction of the others, and we can fix it again with the manipulation tools. Okay, as you can see here, there's like y-axis over here. We can just rotate it y-axis. No, I'm sorry, that's the x-axis. So we can just connect it, rotate it along the x-axis. I mean, rotate it on the x-axis, yeah. And move it along the y, move it along the x, the z. Okay, here I wanted to give it some space because the space is very tight, and we have to connect the face, this face, very small face. So I'm uh, giving it some spaces. Okay, same like before, we have to connect it, but first thing first, we have to coincide it middle. We can just update it. Okay, it's line already. Since when it's line already, we move on into connecting it. Okay, so the face over here on the bushing. Okay, make sure the two line is uh, highlighted. So it means we're not choosing the line. Instead, we're choosing the face. Right here, I'm going to try. Okay, so both of the line is highlighted. That means we're already choosing the face, and just left click, and same as this one, we're going to connect this face into this face. Okay, the square symbol appears, and can just update, and it's connected. It's all good. Okay, now we have three parts connected into the housing. Now let's move on to the next part, which is the shaft. Okay, I'll open my file. Okay, now we have the shaft, but same problem. It's not facing the right direction, so we have to do the manipulation again. Okay, we have to rotate it along the x-axis right here. Rotate it, move it along the y, move it along the z. I think it's good. Now you just have to coincide this shaft into the middle of this hole. Okay, just Control U, and it's aligned. See that symbol? Green symbol means good. Okay, now have to connect it. Okay, make sure to select the face, and after this we have to connect the shaft into the body bracket. Update. Why body bracket? I'll explain it after this, after we've done the rotor. Okay, now we can move on to the next step, which is adding the rotor into the build. You can do it by choosing this icon and choose product, then choose the rotor. Okay, now it's always the same problem. It's not facing the right direction. Okay, yeah, we have to do the manipulation again. Okay, it's facing the wrong direction. Sorry. Rotate it along the on the z-axis. Move it along the y, along the z, and we can just directly coincide it from here. We don't need to rotate it like very precisely. The tools will do it. Okay, update, and we have to connect the rotors into the shaft. But since the shaft doesn't have any surfaces to line to, we can just use the insert, I mean the tools of contact, and choose this face, and we can just select this face on the body bracket. So we have to select the face of the circle on the rotor and select the face of circle on the body bracket. I mean the housing, and we can just update it. Okay, and it's connected right now. So basically this shaft and rotor is connected. Okay, now since we got the rotor, the body bracket, the ram, the bushing, the shaft, so it's a matter of completing the builds. And to complete that, we have to put the right side of the body bracket. Oh yeah, but first we have to connect the bushing first, the right side bushing. Okay, now we have the same bushing. It is going on the right side. So yeah, we have to rotate it again in X direction. Okay, move it along the Y-axis, move it along the Z. Use the coincidence tools to connect, to line them all. Okay, connect this, update. It's already connected, and we can just make contact here. Or we can make contact here to the housing. Okay, so right now I'm just going to put the housing, the right side housing. Oh yeah, but since the right side and the left side housing is separated and there is nothing to support them all, I make another part to support it, and it's called as housing connector or housing bridge. Okay. So this is our housing connector, and it's facing the wrong direction, so I have to rotate it again on the z-axis, move it along the y, and same like before, since it got similar 3 males and perfectly calculated with 3 females, right now I'm just going to connect one of them instead of all of them, and make a contact here to the male part, female, and update. It's already connected. Okay, we got the connector, and now we can bring the right side housing into the build. Okay, this is our right side housing, and we have to do manipulation on it. Bring it to the right side, give it some space. Use the coincidence tools to make sure that the middle part of the housing is connected into this bushing. Since the bushing is already aligned with the shaft, so the right side of the housing will technically align with the shaft also. Now we just have to use contact tools over here and connect it with this face of the bushing. And update, it's now connected, and you can use contact tools to connect it all. Now it's connected. Okay, so if you really pay attention on the first step, the whole of the left side of the housing is 5 centimeters, but the right side of the housing is 4 centimeters. And which one is right? Why is it different? So it appears there's something like an error on the left side. It's supposed to be 4 centimeters, but right now I already updated, and we can see right here. Manipulation. Okay, we can move it. Now it's completely sealed. On the first steps, the hole, especially the steps when I connect the body bracket and the housing, you can see that the hole is not filled. There's a gap between the housing and the bushing. But right now it's already fixed. It's my error. Okay, since everything is clear right now, we can move on into the next steps. Okay, now the last steps is connecting the body bracket for the right side of the housing. Okay, we have the body bracket here. It's facing the wrong direction, so manipulate it, rotate it along the z-axis, and move it along the y. And since then, we can just coincide this part over here. Make contact also on the male and female part, and just update. Okay, now we have the actually the main component is already completed, but we have one more parts here, which is the base, or the bottom part, or the foot part of these builds. Okay, now we have the front base, or the front foot of these builds. Now it's not aligned properly. We just have to rotate it on the x-axis, rotate it on the z-axis, move it a little bit to the front along the x-axis, and give it some space. Okay, now as you can see, it's a female, and it's also female. Then how can we connect it? Since both of them is female, I have part here called as base connector, which will act as the male part. Okay, now we got the parts right here. Sorry, yeah, we got the base connector right here. Just made a rough alignment since we're going to use the coincidence tools anyway. Okay, use the coincidence tools, connect it into this female part, and update. Yeah, it's perfectly aligned right now. Now what should we do is connect this part. It's quite deep. Okay, we got the first face and the second face connected, and it's not green since we've not updated yet. Once we update it, it turned green, and it means good. Now for the base, same like before, coincidence tools is the hero right here. Update, it's perfectly aligned right now, and just make a contact between this face and the face of the base, and update. Now it's perfectly connected. Left side done. Now let's come into the right side. and it's done. And for the back part, we also have the base for the back part. We just have to import it again, and I got it. I got the parts here, the back base. Yep, right here. Okay, it's not perfectly aligned, so we need to do the manipulation again. Move it along the Y, move it along the X, I mean, and along the Z. Yeah, as you notice, there's like a male part here that never been uh, never been here before. Why? Because it turns out that I used the old part of the housing bridge, so yeah, I already changed it into the newer part, so there is like a male part here. And yeah, it's basically same like the other steps. Just use the coincidence tools, coincide both of female and male, and update. After that, just use the connecting tools and just update, and it's perfectly aligned. Yeah, so that's the last step of this build. Then our build is completed. And yeah, to test whether our build is already correct or not, we can do it by test the clash. We can test whether there is a clash or not. If there's a clash, then there's some sort of problem with our builds. And if there's no clash, and yeah, that means our build is already cool, already good. Just apply, and so far so good. We got no clash here. Yeah, the clash is 0, contact is 28. So there is 28 contact in total in our build. The first contact here between the ram and the body bracket and the housing. I mean housing and body bracket and housing, and so on and so forth. Okay, all of the value is 0 and type is contact. There is no clash detected in our builds, so that means our build is good to go. It's already cool. Then it comes into the saving part. We can just save as and put the product name. I'm going to put Waterotor complete assembly. Okay, I've saved it already, and actually we can put it wherever we want, but the most important thing is our assembly of these builds or the cat product has to be in the same file directory with all of the parts. If it's not in the same file directory, if we wanted to open the cat product later on, it's not going to be loaded. So we have to put all of the imported part and the cat product file in the same file directory. Okay, now since our build is already completed, and the next thing that I wanted to do is doing explode drawing. And to do that, first we have to uh, put our builds in enhanced scenes. We can do it by choosing this icon over here, the right bottom part of the toolbar, and for the overload mode we just have to choose full. Okay, now we're in enhanced scenes. Now to exploit our drawing in enhanced scenes, there is like an icon right here, explode, that says explode. Just press it once and choose all of the product that we wanted to explode, which is all of the parts, all levels, 3D, and apply. Okay, it's now exploded. We can setting like how much we want to explode the parts by scrolling this sliders over here, but I'm just going to leave it like on the very right, like full explode, and just press apply, okay, and okay. And that's how you explode a build. Okay, I think I think that's all for me. It's already completed. So far we've covered how to assemble and how to explode these builds, and I think I'm done here. Thank you very much.